America is under siege. We see it on our campuses and in our culture. The left started its takeover of our colleges and culture over a half-century ago. And the new administration is working to take over everything we hold dear. That's why, as the new president of Young America's Foundation, we're launching The Long Game. The Long Game is a bold plan that will invest in our young people for generations to come. It's built on the foundation of a national organization with roots that stretch across the country, an organization that has a proven record of educating young Americans about the ideals of individual liberties, free enterprise, and traditional values. This is about enacting a plan that outlasts me and you.
Beautiful. Governor Walker's with us right now. Scott Walker, how are you, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for playing a little bit of that promo. It tells you exactly what we're doing with the long game.
Well, I'm excited about it. And you personally, you could have really done anything after being governor and right now, but you chose to take the fight to college campuses. Why did you find that to be the most important place to be?
Well, I'm a fighter. A decade ago, we saw the Occupy movement didn't start on Wall Street. It started on my street in Madison, Wisconsin, when they brought about 100,000 protesters to occupy our state capitol. They tried to cancel us. They tried to intimidate us. They ultimately tried to recall us, but we prevailed, and our common sense conservative reforms work still today. And I looked at the next great battlefield is really with our young people, not only on college campuses, but even in our schools, where the left's been at this for decades. And we can't win just the next battle. We've got to win the war for the heart and soul of our republic, and that starts with our young people.
Take us back through the beginnings of the march through the institutions that we've talked about a ton of time on the show. But when would you say it really started in our colleges, and how has it metastasized and grown? We need to know where it and how it started if we want to fight back against it, right?
Yeah, it goes all the way back really to Saul Alinsky in decades ago in the 1960s. I remember the warnings even before I was in school, and certainly in my time in the 80s in college, we saw left-wing professors, but as conservatives, we still had a voice. We could still be heard. We could bring in speakers. We could challenge things in classes. That has changed, particularly over the last decade, and I would argue, particularly in the last year, we've seen a major thrust where it's not even just intimidating to be a conservative on campus for fear of a bad grade from one of these left-wing professors. I think it's even worse these days for the radical activists on campus and even those coming in from off campus who really just try to outright shut down not only conservative students, but speakers and others. They don't want any of these voices to be heard, and that is truly dangerous. Free speech is guaranteed in our Constitution, but it should be most revered on our college campuses, and yet that's where it's most at risk.
Wow, that was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.